What's up, MMO Attack fans? This is Zach here, bringing you a first impressions video for Kartuga, a brand new browser-based MMORPG currently in closed beta testing by InnoGames. This is the character selection screen. I've already selected a character, but I think we're going to go ahead and start from scratch. So we're going to click Add New Character, and then it's going to ask us basically which one of three different character classes do we want to pick from. We can be the Engineer, the Destroyer, or the Protector, and it's basically exactly as it sounds. The Destroyer is pretty much your DPS class, so to speak, and the Protector is pretty much the tank class, so to speak. The Engineer works a little bit differently, and I'll just read it to you. It says the Engineer is an expert in supporting allies. Play as the strategic buoy master to stop enemies accessing important areas, as an Atlanticus to repair your allies, or a fast and furious tinker with almost limitless skill access. For the purposes of this first look video, we're going to go ahead and stick with the Destroyer. We're going to go ahead and click Create, and it should take us to a little tutorial, and we'll pick back up with the game as soon as we hit the tutorial. Alright, we're back now. We're actually in game now. There are other players around us, and this is sort of like the closest thing, I guess, to a town, the first little area where you're going to start off in. So we're going to go ahead, and you see this little exclamation point right here? We're just going to go ahead and click on that, and it's going to tell us to sync 3 merchant ships. So we can do that real quick, but let's make sure that we're not missing any other quests as we go up here, because I think maybe I have to level up one. So we're going to go ahead and kill those merchant ships real quick. You see that ship right there? That's actually another player. When I first started playing this game, I actually thought it was difficult to tell the difference between players and actually NPC ships. And when I kept getting killed by certain types of named NPCs, I actually thought that there were players ganking me. So for a while there, I thought this was some kind of free-for-all PvP game. Now, aesthetically speaking, I mean, I think when you look at screenshots of this game, you think Sid Meier's Pirates, because it's almost the exact same perspective. And some things are similar, like the ship-to-ship combat kind of reminds me of Pirates. But beyond that, it's very, very different. Kartuga is much more your standard MMORPG that just happens to have ships taking the place of avatars, of actual people. You're going to go around, you're going to pick up quests, you're going to kill mobs, you're going to engage in PvP. Very much your standard type MMO features in a game like this. So it's not really much of a sandbox in terms of being able to go around and trade. It's not quite Sid Meier's Pirates. It's not quite Uncharted Waters. It's not even quite Pirates of the Burning Sea. But for a browser game, it looks fairly impressive. It runs off of the Unity engine, which accounts for probably the vast majority of its great graphics. And if you run this game in full screen like I'm running it right now, you almost can't even tell you're playing a browser game because it just looks that good. Anyway, now we're going to actually get into some of the gameplay. And as you can see, I'm walking around killing these merchant ships relatively easily. Killing most things in most of these little tiny ships in the game is actually a fairly simple process. You only have to hit them about once or twice, and hit them accurately, in other words, and then they will sink, as they are doing here. And I only have to kill one more, and there we go. Now I have to go back to the NPC. I can press M to see my mini-map. Now, interestingly, this is not a point-and-click game. It sort of looks like it might be, but it's not. You do use your mouse cursor as a sort of a targeting reticule, and you'll notice that depending on where I have my mouse cursor, a little cone will show on either side of my ship. This is essentially how you aim your cannon fire. Depending on where you have your mouse cursor determines where you aim your cannon fire. And when you want to fire, you just left click and you'll fire your cannons from your ship. So we have a quest right here. We can turn in our quest right here. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to go ahead and click OK. We're going to get another one. Find and speak with the Iron Fish. And there's another quest right up here that we're going to pick up. Now, to move around, you use WASD. And that seems a little strange, but I think in the end, it works out very, very well. And actually, you don't have to, because you're in a ship, I guess, you don't have to hold down the W key to actually move. Your ship essentially runs at 2 speeds. And if you hit the W key twice going forward, you go a little faster, but you turn slower. Whereas if you only hit it once, you go slower, but you turn faster. So that does introduce a bit of a strategic element to the game. So I just got another quest to kill 5 merchant ships. And I'm going to go ahead and do that quest because I know that I want to make sure that I'm at the appropriate level once I start doing some of these other quests right here, because I remember doing them on my first character and they were a bit challenging. So right now I'm still not having much trouble killing anything, but I think I want to go ahead and get some new skills. I'm already level 2, which means I have a skill point. So I can press the N key, and what pops up is a series of skill trees, sort of like talent trees in World of Warcraft, for example. For my class, the Destroyer, you have basically, and I'm getting shot at by this Coast Guard. Let me go ahead and see if I can make quick work of this guy. He's actually doing some damage to me. So let's go around here. And I don't know if you can see, but on the targeting reticule when you shoot, it's sort of a circle, and when you shoot your cannons, it will show up as red, and then it will turn to yellow, and then it will turn to green. You can shoot when it's yellow, but you actually have increased crit chance when it's green. But anyway, the skill tree is what we were talking about. We can choose between Raider, Ravager, and Brawler. Some of the things we can pick from: for a Brawler, it's Overheat, reduces the broadside reload time by 40% for 10 seconds. Ravager, preceded by a short delay, it fires a stream of fire, inflicting 450 damage on impact and leaving 2 debris particles in its wake that inflict 150 damage on the enemy. And Raider, chain shots, fires 8 projectiles in a cone formation, each inflicting 90 damage. So we're going to go ahead and learn that skill, and we're going to save our changes. And you'll notice that in the bottom middle on our little skill bar that looks very much looks like a traditional MMO, we have a new skill, which is the chain shot skill. Let's go ahead and check our inventory, and it's going to tell us that we've got some new items available. First of all, we have some cannons, or basic guns as they're called, which are a little stronger than the ones we have equipped. So we're going to left click and drag them over to the inventory slot. Be careful that you don't right click, because in this game, if you right click, you don't automatically equip anything. Rather, you automatically convert whatever it is that you have highlighted to gold. So it's like you sell it. So this Carpenter right here that gives us 25 hit points, we're going to drag up here. And the same thing with this first officer. We're going to drag him over here. Now I have 2 different types of cannonballs, or 3 different types of cannonballs. I have the basic true shots, which give me +5 damage and +15 critical chance. Tiny's true steel shots, which give me +10 damage and +5% crit hit chance. And Tiny incendiary shot, which is a 20% chance of debuffing the target, inflicting 243 damage over 6 seconds. So depending on the type of cannonball you have, they'll do different things. So now that we've equipped a certain type of cannonball, the incendiary shot, let's go ahead and try to sink 4 more merchant ships so we can go ahead and level up and continue our quest. And like this guy right here seems to think that he can shoot me, but he really can't, so he's just kind of wasting his time. It can be hard, especially in the areas close to where you start off. It can sort of be hard to find enemies because there's a lot of people playing the game, and therefore there's a lot of people actively killing the mobs that you need to kill. It was a much bigger problem when I was playing this earlier than when I'm playing it right now, but there again, there's the advantage of playing this game off-peak hours. So we have 2 out of 5 there. We're going to go ahead and try to get 3 more. Just going to try to sail around, I guess, while we look for them. And we can take a look up here. We've got a contacts list, shipyard, I'll get to that in a minute, quest log, a skill book, and the skill tree, which we've already seen, equipment and inventory, and guilds. If we click that little dialog box, you can create a guild if you want. You can even add a guild banner and a guild logo. But what we were talking about earlier, let's see if I can find it again, where is it? The shipyard. If we press the shipyard button, it's going to come up this thing. It says research. This is how you buy cannons and this is how you buy cannonballs and other items. You basically have to, when you get experience points, you also get ship parts, and then you spend the ship parts to research these specific things. And you have to be a certain level to unlock each of these things. But once you unlock them, then you can use gold that you earn from completing quests to actually buy them. Like right now, I can buy 500 of one type of cannonball, 1,000, 2,500, or 5,000 of one type of cannonball. And we're just kind of going all over the map here, still trying to find 3 more. There's one more merchant ship. It's kind of off the beaten path, but I think it's not going to matter very much. I think we can still take him down. So he's kind of outrunning us though, so he's just a little bit faster than ours, but I think we're going to catch up to him real quick. So let's see if we can hit him with our chain shot. And we totally missed him, but we're going to get him right here. So you see, we can kill these merchant ships in about 2 to 3 hits every single time. So these guys especially aren't much of a problem. So we're going to go over here. That's where we have to turn in one of our quests, that little sparkling area there, but we're not quite ready to do that yet. We're going to keep trying to find 2 more of these ships. They should be around here somewhere. I've got to be careful not to get too far off the map so I don't end up trying to get involved in trying to kill things that I'm a little bit low level for, because it's very, very easy to do that. There's one more merchant ship. Let's see what we can. Let's try to use our skill again. Hit it. We one-shotted him that time with our skill, so the skills do a lot of damage in comparison to your normal attack, so it's definitely a good idea to keep up with those. Is this a merchant ship? I'm not sure. I think he's gonna be, yeah. So here's our 5th merchant ship that we're gonna go ahead and try to attack, and we're catching up to him, so it should be no time at all. And I've already complimented this game's graphics, but I think even artistically speaking, it's a fairly good-looking game. It's very pleasing aesthetically. I mean, it's good graphics, yes, I know, but the art style is unique. It's not exactly what I would call traditional art. It seems very very imaginative. I'm not quite sure what kind of world they were shooting for here, but everything looks nice. It's visually appealing. So we just kind of have to sail our way on through here. That is a problem that I have. It can sometimes take a little while to get from point to point because you are in a sailboat essentially, and it's sort of you're crossing the ocean. While the water does look very, very nice, but it can get a little boring just kind of sailing all the way across here. So, as you can see, there's some more players kind of hanging out in the town. There's a chat window on the bottom right. Nobody's really chatting right now, but again, we're off peak hours. There were some people chatting earlier. And this game's in closed beta, so I don't know, there's probably not as many people playing this game as there would have been. Alright, so we just hit level 3. We can hit the H key, or not the H key, the N key, I'm sorry, to go ahead and add a new skill. We can increase turn speed by 2%, or we can increase damage by 1%. We're going to go ahead and increase our damage and click Save Changes. Not that I really think a 1% increase in my damage ability is going to do very much for me, but what have you. So we finished that quest, and now we have to find and speak with the Iron Fish. Here, if we press the M key, we can open up our map, and there he is over there to the far right. Now, if we click the little minus sign magnifying glass, we can see the entire game world. And the game world seems to be split up into 5 square boxes with certain islands and things of that nature that all correspond to certain level ranges. And there's about 4 more boxes that are off to the left in sort of an L shape that don't really have a lot of things you can click on, and which indicate to me that you can't go to those areas. I don't know if they're reserved for a future expansion, if that's just for artistic purposes, or if those are areas in the game with which the developers simply aren't quite finished with yet, and that they will be available upon release. So, as we sail over here, we're about to turn in our quest and get some more rewards, and I gotta keep reminding myself to check these rewards, to keep hitting the I key to check some more rewards to make sure that I myself don't fall too far behind. And there's another first officer we got as a reward, so we're gonna press the I key. Click him. Critical damage plus 3.8%. So he is definitely an upgrade. So we're going to left click and move him up there. And we have upgraded our first officer slot. Now that we're level 3, we might actually be able to purchase something from the shipyard. Incendiary ammunition. So we can go ahead and left click that. It's going to require 900 ship parts. We have 3,000. So we're going to go ahead and click unlock. And now it's going to say, well, do you want to buy them? We can go ahead and buy 500 more for 250 gold. And we can press the I key. And notice how we now have 944 incendiary shots, which means that it automatically adds them. If you have them equipped, they're automatically added, even if you buy them. They don't just go to a slot in your inventory. You equip them if those are the specific types of rounds that you have equipped right now. So we made quick work of that Ethosian Coast Guards. We have to kill one more of these guys, and there's another one right there. We're going to use our special attack to one-shot him, and then we're going to go back to the town. Fairly simple process. We're going to go back to complete our quest. Just going to sail this way, and there's some merchant ships over there, but here we go. And I should also mention that this game also has a couple of PvP modes, so in addition to the PvE standard questing, you can also do PvP. So we finish that, and we're gonna get a gunner if we complete this one quest. Defeat Jorhan sideways. And in the past, I have had great difficulty actually defeating this guy at level 3. But what the heck, we're gonna go ahead and give it the old college try anyway, and maybe we'll get lucky. So we're going to go all the way down here. He spawns around a lot of other ships that try to attack you at the same time, and he does a lot of damage, and he's a bit overpowered in my opinion. And I hope that's not a recurring theme in this game with the named NPCs being a lot more powerful, or being that much more powerful. It just seems unbalanced. You see, I mean, look how big the guy's ship is. I mean, for one, I mean that's a huge ship. But yeah, the Red Raven, that guy there, who just kind of chills out with him, and he'll get involved in your fights and definitely cause you a lot of trouble. But it looks like he's actually... Wow, I actually killed him fairly quickly that time. And now I gotta try to run away from the Red Raven there before he kills me. But I think we can get away from him if we just keep going. Not quite sure if he's going to... Well, it looks like he can catch up to us, but I don't think so. I'm just going to keep going in his direction, and maybe he'll eventually de-aggro. And it looks like he just did. So we're going to go back, and we're going to complete our quest. Or it says follow the clue, so maybe I should do exactly that and follow the clue rather than... I got to pay attention to what I'm doing here. Press the M key again to see where we have to go. Press the M key again to leave our mini-map, and we're on track. And you can also see sort of an arrow pointing in a certain direction on your mini-map above on the top right, in case you don't want to keep hitting the M key to see exactly where you're going all the time. So we're almost to our location. We'll have to see what kind of trouble we can get ourselves into over here. It looks like, I'm not quite sure what to expect. I've kind of forgotten even what comes next after this, as crazy as this sounds. But we're just going to go here. There's another merchant ship that we could kill if we wanted to, but I think we're going to leave him alone for now. Follow the clue. We completed that. So I guess we just click this little button here. Yeah. Okay. We click that. Well, that's about all the time we have for this first impressions video for Kartuga Online. If you guys want to check out more about the game, head on over to MMOattack.com for more MMO gaming news, reviews, opinions, giveaways, and other awesomeness.